Number 7, the sign of digital money and global tracking. Listen to what it says in Revelation 13. Now, remember, Revelation 7, we meet the 144,000. We're going to talk about those in days ahead. Revelation 11, we hit the 2 witnesses. But in Revelation 13, where we are, we meet the Antichrist. Look what happens when we meet him. Revelation 13:16. He, the Antichrist, the global ruler, causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now wait a minute. Notice number. Number. A lot of people are worried about getting a chip or a barcode or a tattoo or something, and they don't want to get that. This is not saying avoid having a chip implant or a tattoo or a barcode. What it's saying is a number to buy or sell. Guess what? It's too late. What that means is, for the first time in history, we would have digitalized money. We've never had digitalized money. We've had currency, we've had barter, we've had exchange, we've had gold and silver and coins. We've had all types of ways of transaction until modern times, just in the last decades, where money has become digitalized. Now let me just show you the ramifications of what this means. Because of the current COVID-19 pandemic, look at that headline. On April 10th, which is what, 10 days ago, Apple and Google are going to bring COVID-19 contact tracing. Look, what does it say? Read it out loud, what you see on the screen. Yeah, 3 billion people. Do you know what contact tracing is? Here's the thumbnail if you want to read that. That article was in Bloomberg. Contact tracing is that my contacts that are in this phone are all known by Apple, and they are going to combine their computers with Google's so that all of the people that have Gmail and are part of YouTube and everything else, that whole vast database with all, so there are about 3 billion people involved with Google, and about 1 billion crossover involved have an iPhone. And my contacts are going to be in the server somewhere. And when somebody in my contact is diagnosed as infected with COVID-19, guess what my phone will do? Bzzz. Your friend. That we know where your phone was and their phone was, and your phones were closer than 6 feet. And so you're likely and have been exposed. That's what contact tracing is. It's eerie. Bonnie and I, we travel 150,000 miles some years, speaking all over the world. We got off an airplane at 11 p.m. I stepped in to pick up our car. We were in northern Thailand speaking at a conference. I got Bonnie in her side. I walked around to my side. As I was opening the door, my phone vibrated. I thought, who would call me at 11 o'clock in Thailand? And I looked, and it was a note from Chase Bank. It said, fraud department. Did you just spend X number of dollars in Chiang Mai, Thailand? I looked at Bonnie. I said, Chase Bank knows where we are right now and what we're doing. There's coming a time through technology. See on the screen in front of you? MasterCard, PayPal, Square Cash, Visa, Alipay, Apple Pay, Venmo, all of these things with contact tracing are all going to be in one massive database with the continuous GPS tracing, triangulating, knowing right where our little phone is or our little watch is or whatever, is going to make it possible through this. Look at the next slide. What is that? On their right hand or on their foreheads, what you see there is visual recognition. What's that? Well, the cameras do a triangulation of our facial features and search a database in a millisecond, identify who you are. What recently happened, just before the social isolation started, there was a gigantic concert going on last fall outside of London, and the cameras, as you went into the stadium of all these people going to the concert, we don't even notice cameras. They're there all the time. And a camera caught the face, triangulated it, sent it down to Interpol, who sent back a note saying that's a guy wanted in Germany and he's in London. And they looked up his ticket, and during the concert, the British policeman walked up out of 80,000 people and stood at his row and walked down his row while he was enraptured in the concert and cuffed him. And he had no idea that 1 out of 80,000 could be picked out. You know what? 1 out of 3 billion are going to be picked out in the next few weeks. That's called contact tracing, COVID-19, Apple, Google initiative. With the Antichrist, Revelation 13:16 says, everyone on earth will be under his surveillance. And if you do not deny Jesus Christ, then he will execute you. Global digital money and tracking, a trend that's getting more frequent. It's happening faster and faster and faster. It's getting more intense. China now tracks every one of their 1.2 billion people. It's getting more and more visible to the world. But in the tribulation, it's unstoppable. Number 8, the trend of weapons of global destruction. Matthew 24 has something very interesting. But there will be great, what does it say? Tribulation. So look, the way you know you're in the tribulation, the way you know that that is happening is when these trends, as in weapons of mass destruction, become unstoppable. What does Jesus say is going to happen? Look at this. There'll be great tribulation such as not been since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. And unless those days were shortened, no human life would be saved. That's what weapon of mass destruction means. Up until this time, in biblical times and up until modern times, you only could get someone that you could get close enough to get them. First it was, with your sword or with your slingshot or with your bow and arrow, and later it was with your catapult, and then we got a little further to our cannon, then we got our airplanes, but always people could flee. You couldn't carpet bomb everywhere, you couldn't shoot arrows everywhere, you couldn't get everybody. Until now. Look at that slide. The doomsday clock. Most dire warnings since the Cold War. What they're saying is, they're saying what you see on the next map. Look how many people have atomic devices. America has 6,550 weapons. They say that it would take only about 24 to 50 to wipe out about 95% of all people. And we've got 6,500. Russia has 6,850 weapons. North Korea has 15, China has 280, India has 135. One of the most volatile areas of the world, Pakistan, has 145. They always have to have a little more than India, their arch enemy. Israel has an undetermined number, but I will say one thing about Israel, and that is that Israel developed something, an Israeli scientist, because Israel's so small, and they have so many foes around them, they developed what's called the neutron bomb. Of course, you know what that is. It's a bomb where if you hit a city, it doesn't ruin the city. All it does is kill all organic life within the city. All animals and people. And leaves the city. Fine. For re-inhabitation. Neutron bomb, the atomic bomb, the hydrogen bomb, germ warfare, weapons of mass destruction. More frequent warfare, more intense warfare, more visible warfare, but when warfare becomes unstoppable,